it on. Want some, get some.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're a pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I don't think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get to Omaha. I can promise you that.
Red and purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to the Sports Objective. It's Sunday night. It looks like it's going to be the duo of Kyle and myself tonight. And Kyle from LaGrange Barber, how are you, dude?
What's going on, Dave? So we sit here on Sunday night, first Sunday night of February, getting closer and closer to baseball season. So we'll have extra innings here starting up pretty soon. And have some Pirate baseball to talk about, but in the meantime and in between time, Pirate basketball. Tough loss to Temple yesterday. We're looking to get our fourth win in a row, and unfortunately that didn't happen.
By the way, I'm very sad, non-sports related, because today is February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Puxatawny Phil this morning saw his shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter. So
as opposed to when the calendar normally changes, when Puxatawny Phil doesn't see his shadow, and magically spring comes now instead of March 20th like it normally does.
Yeah, so kind of sad. I guess I'll watch after our show. I'll watch Groundhog Day, but just a really sad day. And
Ned Ryerson, Needle Nose Ned, Bing.
Yeah, I love that movie. Anyway, I remember about 10 years ago more, I was working in Raleigh in radio, and there was a 20-something at the time, and she had never seen Groundhog Day. And I told her that was her homework. So she went and saw them, went and watched the movie and said, "Man, that's a really good movie." I was like, "Yeah." Probably the only reason why I care about Groundhog Day is that movie. But anyway, definitely a lot to talk about as we have, unfortunately, tough day at the office for the women and men. Women and men both lose. And so anyway, we're here. Here we are. And baseball season is around the corner. By the way, Kyle, I'm going to put you on the spot here. But you don't mind that. You're a strong dude. We're at 12 wins right now. We have 9 games. I checked before the show. 9 games left in the regular season. How many wins do you think the men are going to have?
We keep playing like we're playing. We shouldn't beat Temple yesterday. Temple is undefeated at home, and we had that game won and blew it down the stretch.
Yep.
We'll break that down more in a minute. Regular season?
Yeah.
So how many more games do we have to play?
We have 9 regular season games. That's not obviously counting the tournament. So we hopefully will have a few games in the tournament.
I'm going to say we have 9 regular season games, 17 or 18.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to say we win 5 or 6 more and have 17 or 18 win regular season, win one in the conference tournament, and hit to the CBI.
Sounds good. Chuck says 5. I'm glad you guys are feeling that strong. I think that's it's totally doable. That's about half or a little more than half. So, yeah, why not?
Well, you look at how well we played recently. I mean, just look at the game yesterday on the road at Temple where they're undefeated at home. We blew it down the stretch. CJ was, I think he had 30 points in regulation. It was just dominant. They changed defenders on him and put somebody else on him with about 7 minutes to go in the second half, and he went ice cold, and the offense was going through him. R.J. Felton had a terrible night. When C.J. went cold and they, changed defenders on him, the offense started going through Felton, and he just had a bad night. Was in the paint a lot. Got to the foul line, did not make his free throws. Had RJ made his free throws, we win that game. Not putting it all on RJ, but just stating a fact.
10 free throws in the overtime. We made 4, right?
Yeah. And in the regulation, it was the same way. So ample opportunity to win that game, and just didn't get it done. What's the next game? Who do we have? The next one's a home game. Who is it? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, I can look at. Hang on, I've got the schedule right here. It's we've got Rice's Black History game on Wednesday, and that'll be at 7:00 Wednesday night.
Well, we need to win that one. I like the way we're playing. It would have just been nice. That would have been the first time since the Colonial days that we won 4 league games in a row, which is insane to think. That's how bad this basketball program has been. I'm optimistic. It was very discouraging to lose yesterday, but when you look at the way we've played, going all the way back to that Florida Atlantic game where we should have won that, we should have won at Memphis. It lost at North Texas, then we got on the hot streak against Tulsa, Wichita, South Florida, then we lose the close one to Temple. So, but we got to do is we need to take care of our business at home, and then find a way to win a couple on the road. And we played a lot on the road, so we should have quite a few home games coming up. So I got to look at our schedule down the stretch, but I'm optimistic that we can post a winning season and maybe make a CBI type tournament. But a lot of basketball left to be played. We'll see what happens. And quite honestly, if we get hot, we can make a run in the tournament. I mean, nobody is blowing us out. We're playing with everybody, including Memphis. So if we get hot, we can make a run in the conference tournament.
Right, and Jeff Collins says 2. He says 2 games, so that would be 14. That's what I originally said, but
the 9 games to go, we win 2 more games. Jeff Collins. I mean, anything's possible, but I just don't see that. I mean, I think we're playing pretty good basketball right now.
Johnny Gardner says Rice, like several conference mates and ourselves, played Memphis well today. Exactly, Johnny. And the thing is, it's just like whenever we won the tournament in '93 with Lefty being at James Madison, they were the darling of the CAA that year. We were one of the first teams ever to have a losing record to make it to the tournament. We had to obviously win the tournament to go to the big dance. And you know what? Anything is possible. So nothing surprises me anymore, for sure. We'll see how that goes.
I'll look at the remainder of the conference schedule, and I mean, like I say, we got to take care of business at home first and foremost, and I think we'll have an opportunity to have a winning record, and we'll see what happens. I mean, our basketball program is such that making a CBI is a successful season, and I think that's completely on the table. I'm not saying it's possible that we only win 1 or 2 more, but I'd be really shocked.
No doubt. We'll see how it plays out. I think that the good news is we had this winning streak when I didn't expect it, which I'm really happy. And then
we should have beaten Temple yesterday. Yeah. We dominated that whole game and then just let it slip away late.
That's a start of a program that you got to find a way to win and learn how to win. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, happy birthday to Cliff Godwin. His birthday is today. So I believe
happy birthday, Cliff.
I think he's 46. Yeah, I believe that's right. I'm 51. I believe he's 46 or maybe 47. So somewhere around there. But happy birthday to Coach G. And let's see. Chuck says, isn't there one senior on the team that has 1 year of eligibility left? I don't know. I'll put out that to Johnny G. Maybe Johnny Gardner would know that answer to that question, but good to have a great crowd here tonight. Put your questions and comments in the comments section, obviously, and we'll try to get to that. Kyle, with baseball coming up in a couple weeks. By the way, I want to give a shout out to our friend, Kyle and I's friend, Paul Hill. He had surgery this week, and he's doing much better, and he'll be with us here very soon.
D.H. Conley baseball coach, former East Carolina Pirate baseball player, and former North Carolina Wesleyan baseball player, won a national championship Wesleyan.
1980.
Yep. And Paul Hill. So he's a Pirate, great baseball mind, and he had surgery, like Dave said, and he will be joining us on Extra Innings starting in a couple weeks.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, our we'll have a preview show obviously coming up, and he'll be with us. But we'll see about that. So, in fact, Johnny Gardner says basketball wise, Riley could get one possibly. All right, so we'll have to see on that for sure. As far as baseball goes, man, it's hard to believe 12 days away. Kyle, are you excited? You pumped up?
Looking forward to it. I wouldn't say excited or pumped up. I don't get as jacked up for baseball to do football, but certainly looking forward to it as we open the season with George Mason, an old Colonial rival. Now, neither team's in the Colonial. Obviously, we're in the American. They're in the A10. But be interested to see. We got a young team. You were at Media Day the other day. We'll have some Media Day content out eventually, and have a baseball preview show, as Dave mentioned. But young team. Cliff does a good job recruiting. Certainly brought some pieces in from the portal. I think I think pitching will be good. I think the bats are going to take some time to come around, but we'll be. I don't know that we'll be in position to host the regional this year, but who knows? We are certainly still one of the favorites to win the American and should be an NCAA tournament team. But this is a kind of a rebuild year. But we had a rebuild year at one time and almost made it to Omaha down in Lubbock against Texas Tech. So looking forward to the season.
Yeah, and there's two things. One thing that Kyle always mentions is true, very extremely true this year. Be patient with this team as they will certainly get better. But I'll tell you one thing too, Kyle, is that one of the things I've noticed I have to remind myself is the way that we used to do business, meaning baseball, a lot of high school guys coming in, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, those days are almost pretty much over. So there's a lot of transfer, just like with basketball and football. There's a lot of transfer guys. I think we're going to be better than what people think. I think, again, just like Kyle said, be patient with these guys, and we're going to be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that anybody thinks we're going to be bad. I just don't. I just don't think people think we're going to be a regional host team this year. I think I haven't. What were the projections for the conference? I'm assuming we were projected to win the American, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's the thing. We haven't fallen off, and I think because they're players that are coming from other places, that's why there is, I guess, the uncertainty. But as far as you have a good mixture, I think, of transfer guys and then guys that have already been here, and then you have the new high school players. So I think we're going to be just fine. I really do. I don't worry about the baseball team very much. In fact, Johnny Robertson, he was at the baseball scrimmage today. They went deeper into the pitching staff. The young guys looked very good. There was one total run scored in 5 innings. How about that? JR,
does that mean our pitching's good or our offense sucks? So that's the thing about that. I do think our pitching staff has potential to be pretty good. But you hope the bats, and as the season goes, the bats probably will come around. But I would expect probably to win some low scoring games at the start of the year, and lots of times in cold weather. Of course, we ain't cold weather right now, but I guarantee you, 2 weeks from now, when we open up the season with the George Mason Patriots, it'll be 39 degrees the first Friday.
It is this is the toughest game of the year for baseball. By the way, Steve Alexander III, he wants to know, do y'all see us losing any players in the portal coming up? Is what he meant to say. He had a previous comment, but do you guys, anybody see us losing any
in football?
After spring football, we're going to lose.
Losing players, I'm assuming he means starters. And, there could be some kids that are going to leave after spring ball because they're not going to see the field that may transfer down to an FCS or something like that. Basically, guys that are seniors, juniors, starters. It's possible. You hope not. One thing we're doing, our spring ball is going late this year, where they're kind of starting and taking a break. And spring game, I think it's the 27th, which is incredibly late.
Mm-hmm.
The portal opens up during spring ball. The 10-day window is actually during the spring ball, so it's kind of interesting that will that play to our advantage where less of our guys will enter the portal because they would have to enter the portal during spring ball in the middle of practice? So I don't know if that was a strategic move on our part. Also, you know, NIL comes into play, and you're getting into revenue sharing. I've talked about revenue sharing at nauseum on the show, but we'll have a better idea what we're going to have for revenue sharing, and so will everybody else. So, my guess is, yeah, we'll probably lose somebody that we don't want to lose, but I would think not many, and we can't afford to lose anybody else on defense, and we'll transfer out of that into recruiting talk. Benton, we had 3 guys visit last weekend. Benton, who's a defensive lineman, he was a junior college All-American. And then we had a defensive lineman who's a starter at Vandy visit, and then of course the best wide receiver in terms of junior college rankings in America visited. Nobody committed. The junior college receiver visited Boise this weekend. The defensive lineman from Vandy, Lee is his name. He hasn't committed anywhere, but Benton, the junior college All American defensive lineman, um, who I talked to Coach Harrell Friday night last week, and he felt really good about getting Benton and Lee. Benton announced today he committed to App State. So that's very disappointing to me, losing out to App. If it was the NIL situation and financially we couldn't outbid App, that's not good. That shouldn't have been the issue, and I really don't think it was. I'm starting to get concerned, and I love Blake Harrell, so please, nobody or coach, if you're listening, I'm not knocking you, and I'm just asking a question. I'm wondering, as the head coach, you're the closer, and I'm wondering if coach is having trouble closing here. This is a new role for him, being the closer, and if he's having trouble closing, the new defensive coordinator from Auburn, our players, not jiving with him because we seem to have trouble closing these deals on defense. And God knows both those kids would have started, and they know they would have started. We need defensive linemen.
Yep.
Tucker, the edge rusher from Houston, that we were trying to get academically eligible, got cleared by the NCAA. He posted that on his Twitter today. I don't know what happened there, different speculation, but he's not coming here now. So you got 3D linemen that aren't coming here that we thought we would have, or at least felt good about. I think we felt pretty good about getting Benton. Now he's with App, and Tucker from App State, from Houston. I don't know what happened with him, but he is academically eligible now, been cleared by the NCAA, but he's not coming here, at least as of last report. So getting a little concerned about the defensive side of the ball. There will be, I can guarantee you this, we will sign some kids post spring on the defensive side of the ball. There will be kids that are at, Power 4 schools that are going to be juniors and seniors that know they ain't going to see the field. And I would expect we are going to sign a boatload of defensive players post spring. We're going to have to, or we're going to have to win a lot of games. Now, thankfully, we'll be able to score some points. I know, Coach JDB wants to get one more, really good receiver in here, but we'll be able to score some points next year, thankfully. But we may have to win some 45, 42 type ball games if we don't do some damage in the portal post spring on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm hoping we do. But really, seeing Benton commit to Appalachian State today was very discouraging to me. That's a kid we should have gotten, and losing out on him to App and not a Power 4 school is kind of concerning. And again, I love Coach Harrell. I still think it was the right decision. It's a learning process, and uh, we got to get through this coming season, and maybe, and like I say, we may do some damage in the portals post spring, and that's something that we've got to get better at. Some of this was a bit of recruiting from behind. Obviously, he had a lot on him, taking over as head coach, hiring multiple coaches while getting ready for a bowl game. And then you got some other things, and I'm going on about football recruiting, Dave, but you got a guy like Wilson Lamp who made some plays for us this year that we offered, I was told, $10,000 NIL, and he chose to enter the portal, and he's still out there. And the best offer he's gotten is New Mexico State, who has no NIL money. So the best thing for Lamp and us, in my opinion, would be for him to come back and rejoin the team. I don't know what, I know with Nash, Despite the great play he made in the bowl game, he was a bit of a locker room problem and showed his ass after the bowl game, acting like a complete idiot in the locker room, and was kind of told to pound sand. And he has not signed with anybody. But you got a guy like Wilson Lamp who, blocked a kick against North Texas, made some big plays against UTSA. Um, turned down $10,000 in NIL if the rumors were true. New Mexico State ain't got no money. They literally are one of the poorest schools out there. That's his best offer. I don't know. It seems like some ego should be dropped on both sides and just, come on back home, kid. And maybe we're not welcoming him back, but what's the damn difference? If you're welcoming in kids from all over the damn country, if a kid enters the portal and his best fit's to stay here and we could use him, then just welcome him back. I don't know. That situation with Wilson Lamp is weird to me.
Yeah, maybe some people, if you know, then let us know out there. By the way, Chuck was saying Yasser Smith, the D lineman, high probability. His brother is that Anthony?
No,
receiver.
No, Smith, the young receiver. His brother, high school recruit, is a defensive lineman is likely coming here. He visited this weekend.
Okay.
But he's a high school receiver. He's a high school defensive lineman. I mean, he'll add depth, but I don't think we need some experience guys to step up on that D line, particularly in the interior. And it'd be great to get his brother. He's a solid high school player to sign on February 5th signing day. But and maybe you're just mentioning that to mention that, not saying that you're not saying that he's what we need to fill the void that we're lacking on the D line. But yeah, we'll probably get him. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, every kid, and you're right about something you said just a little bit ago, Kyle, with about. I think this coaching staff has been holding back on signing some guys because they know that after, just like you said, with after spring games and that portal period, they'll be able to get a lot of guys. Maybe that those guys right now don't know that they're going to be coming our way just yet because they, like you said, they're. Oh yeah, Yannick Smith. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, Yannick. Yes. Yeah. No, definitely. But at the same time, the defensive lineman Lee from Vandy, and then the Benton, the junior college All-American, and then certainly the wide receiver from junior college, who's the top rated junior college receiver in America. Those were three guys we wanted and tried to get, and unfortunately didn't get any of the three, at least not yet. Benton recruit again. He announced he's going to sign with App State today. Lee, to my knowledge, has not committed anywhere, and neither the receiver was visited in Boise this weekend, and I have not seen where he has announced he's committed to Boise. So they're both still out there. So who knows?
All right, there's a question for Kyle. Steve Alexander III. This is for you.
Okay.
Kyle, you know ECU football. What year do you think was the best football year in the history of ECU football? I'll say 1939. I'm joking. That was the first year. I'm joking.
Is this a serious question?
Yeah.
I mean, 91, obviously. 11-1. We won the Peach Bowl January 1st, 92. You got to go with 91 season. I would say, without going back in the history books, way back to the 50s, 60s, 40s, etc. But in recent history, the 91 season. Then after that, I think that's not up for debate. And then after that, you can talk about, was it the 83 season? Was it the 95 season? Was it the 96 season? Several different, you could go 78 if you wanted to. You could look at the Conference USA Championship years, 08, 09. 2013, we won 10 games. People want to sleep on that season, but we beat North Carolina State, and won our bowl game and won 10 games in 1 year. So that 2013 season needs to be mentioned also. But to me, it's a debate for 99 is another great year. So to me, it's a debate for the second best season in ECU football history, but the best was definitely 91.
No question. And I guess you could go also eras, but what was it?
Yeah,
The
if you want to go best era, that's that. Then you're talking Pat Dye, Steve Logan, Skip Holtz, Ruffin McNeil. In terms of which the best era was.
Night in the '60s, of course, Stasevich had.
Yeah, Clarence Seth. Well, yeah.
65. I think we had the Tangerine Bowl. Was it Tangerine? I think that was
Yeah.
that the first bowl we ever went to. Those that are older maybe can
Yeah,
help me.
I don't know. I'd have to pull out some ECU history books. I hadn't looked up all that kind of stuff in years. I used to know it by heart, but as we've added more and more seasons over the years and age has set in, I don't remember all those bowl years from back in the day as much.
Era is very tough. Exactly, Frank. That's what I was saying. Is the 91.
Well, I mean, to me, in terms of just I would, if you're going to include the '91 season and just say the '90s, and just say the '90s, I would say the '90s was the best era for Pirate football.
I agree
because you had you include Logan and Lewis together. You had your '91 season, obviously 11-1. We finished ninth in the country. '94 Liberty Bowl, '95 Liberty Bowl win over Stanford. We finished 23 in the country. '96 8-3, beat Miami. '99 another 9-win season. You beat Miami. So yeah, to me the best era of power football was the '90s, but you can certainly make an argument of the '70s being it was the '70s or the '90s.
Yeah,
Because the '80s you just had the '83 season.
and that's it. Pretty much.
In the first decade of the millennium, 2000 was good, 2001 was disappointing, and then we were the drizzling shits from '02, '03, '04. We started to rebuild in '05. Then you had a nice run from '06 through 2014 with Skip and Ruff. So I don't even think it's that tough. I really think you got to go '70s or '90s, one or two, pick your poison. And then the third best era, again, in the modern era. I wasn't around for Clarence Stasevich and all that. So, obviously that was fantastic football. But in terms of, with apologies to our older Pirates, in terms of what most people remember, you got to go '70s or '90s for best era, one and two. I'd go '90s, then
Logan
'70s
was here
second.
longer than Dye.
Say again?
Logan was here longer than Dye, and I love Pat Dye. But Logan was here.
Well, also Logan. It's just like you can't God Almighty, you count Bill Lewis in the
Yeah.
'91 season. We're just going to say the '90s, and then the '70s you had Pat Dye. Prior to that, you had the guy that went from Virginia. Can't think of his name. Sonny Randall. So you had Sonny Randall and Coach Pat Dye. So '70s and '90s are definitely the best two eras. And then followed closely by the Skip Holtz in the modern era, the Skip Holtz, Ruff, and McNeil years from '06 through 2014 was another really great run for the Pirates. It's hard to how do you identify? Because when you look in the back in it's easy to say the '90s, the '70s, the '80s, the '60s, but what do you call that between 2005 and 2015? That 10-year period, that was a good era for Pirate football. But how do you reference that? The tens? I mean, how do you say that in terms of referencing it in history?
Don't you say the first decade? I don't know. Yeah,
Dave, your internet connection is the shits tonight. You're cutting in and out, but yeah, yeah. Obviously, the first decade of the millennium, the second half of the first decade was good. Then through about 14. So
Frank says for Pirate football is Sean effing Thompson.
yeah, that wasn't an era. That was a hiccup. That was 2 years. So a topic for another night. But I think as we look back, going back to Mike Houston's first season in 19, I think these last 5 years, the Mike Houston era into the 5-6 years, the Mike Houston era into the beginning of the Blake Harrell era. I think we need to come up with our top 5 moments for the Mike Houston / early Blake Harrell era of Pirate football, and we'll probably have that on an upcoming episode.
Yeah, I can think of I can think of a few off the top.
Yeah, I mean, there ones that come to mind. Obviously, most recently they went over NC State in the Military Bowl. I'd probably put that number one. BYU in 2022 out in Provo, the 5 overtime win against Memphis in Greenville in 2022, the win over UCF in Greenville in 2022, the win to get bowl eligible at Memphis in 2021, the Birmingham Bowl win in 2022. You could also put the win at Navy on the last second field goal in 21 on that list. So there's some candidates for top 5 moments under the Blake Harrell / Mike Houston eras.
Yeah. So Jeff Collins says, talking about 91 being the best season, he said, but for a cheating ref on 91, we would have been 12-0. The Illinois game, of course, he's referring to.
Yeah.
That was tough. Being at that time a Pirate fan, and then later becoming a student. But yeah.
Oh, you know what? We'll say butterfly effect. Maybe if we won that game, we don't win another one.
Right.
Maybe that close loss is what motivated us to go on the run we went on.
Exactly. So we can definitely, like you said, when it becomes the summertime, that's the summertime topic as we're getting ready for the Pirate season in football. But certainly, by the way, make sure you get your tickets for football. This year is going to be where they're going to do the relocation of seats. And so they're going to be doing that I think it's the summertime off the top of my head. But they had
you buy your season tickets now, and then they're doing relocation, and it sounds like
priority points.
Yes, and you're going to kind of get tossed into a group if you don't choose a group, but if you're going to do it as a group, which if you read the email, they're encouraging people to do, but the lowest ranked person in your group is going to be the order you get to choose. So that's, like Dave, if, we don't sit together, but if you and I and a couple other people wanted to get together and, do our season tickets together, it wouldn't default to you. And, you're much higher up on the Pirate Club point scale than I am. Let's just say between me and you, it would default to me if you're going to do that as a group. But I didn't quite understand completely. I did and I didn't what they meant by getting together as a group, because I'm just going to sign up for myself whenever I can, do it.
Yeah.
But did you read that part in the email about getting together as a group?
I got to read. I'm looking at it right now. Season tickets, by the way, go on sale officially Tuesday at 10 a.m. I wanted to mention. I knew there was something, and then priority deadline will be Tuesday, April 1st. They got. Let's see here. They have all season ticket holders will get a commemorative gift unveiled when tickets go on sale on Tuesday. Gifts will be distributed after the April 1st deadline. Priority points. This is pretty cool, Kyle. Renew your season tickets by February 18th and receive 10 priority points instead of the usual 2 for being a season ticket holder. Early birds can also set up a payment plan and make your first payment before February 18th to earn 10 priority points instead of 2. Here's another thing they've added, Kyle. They're going to have raffles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, there are all kinds of gift cards, a lot of cool stuff in there. If you'll have to check that out. But there's a handful of things going on between February 10th and March 31st.
Yeah, they're going to have lots of raffles, lots of different giveaways. $500 airplane flight gift cards for some flight company. I saw that repeatedly. Do you have any of the giveaways you can run down real fast, Dave?
Oh yeah, sorry, I can do that. February 10th, $500. Is it? How do you pronounce the airlines? Is it Avelo? Help me out. I don't know how to pronounce
it. Spell it for me real fast.
Avelo. If y'all can help me out. I know
Avelo.
I've just never heard it pronounced, so I know it. I just Avelo. I don't know.
Avlio. I'm not sure.
$500 flight credit for that. A Sup Dogs gift card, and this is what Kyle wants: the autographed mini helmet. That would be really cool. February 17th, you get 4 Harvey Hall passes to Campbell football game. They have ECU Anson belt and a Pirate Club gift basket. February 24th is a foursome at Ironwood and Golf and Country Club. They also have a Pizza Hut gift card that's February 24th. March 3rd. You get 2 pregame field passes for the Campbell football game, a Rajay Harris signed photo, and Christie's Europub gift card. And then once again on March 10th, that airline I can now pronounce 500 is Avalo Airlines. Somebody help me out there. Flight credit, autographed mini helmet, Subdogs gift card. March 17th, raise the no quarter flag in Dowdy Ficklin. That sounds like cool thing for you, Kyle.
Sure.
You can do that. Pirate Club gift basket and ECU Anson belt. March 24th, the guest captain for coin toss at Campbell football game. Christie's Europub gift card, foursome at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. And then finally, March 31st is the last one of the raffle. You'll get the pregame field passes for the BYU football game. And there's also somebody will win a Pizza Hut gift card. But those are going, again, the raffle schedule's February 10th through March 31st. And this is the part.
How much are those Pizza Hut gift cards? I know the Avalo airline is $500. So the amount of the Pizza Hut gift card?
They don't for just a Pizza Hut gift card. And it's Avalo. Looks like Frank is telling me.
Avalo, okay.
Right here, we'll put it up on the screen. So Avalo. So thank you, Frank, for that. I have the app on my phone. I just didn't know how to pronounce it because there's always, you're trying to look out for the best deals on airlines tickets for sure. And here's what you're talking about, I believe, Kyle. The seat selection process before the 2025 season, a reseating process will occur to ensure ticket holders have the chance to select or upgrade their tickets and parking. Seat selection will take place between mid-May through mid-July. Times will be assigned on priority and communicated ahead of time. You have the opportunity to renew your Pirate season tickets to request a group appointment time for the seat selection process. If you select a group selection time with the other Pirate Club members, please understand the group appointment will be based on the lowest ranked member in priority. So I guess it's if you have a group time, like you said.
Yeah, that's confusing to me. I don't know what the frick tried. I don't know what they're what. Do they mean people you sit with get together as a group in case you want to move together, or just as an individual? Do you have to get together with? Because they're making it sound like you have to get together as a group. I'm assuming that's not the case. You can just sign up as an individual. I don't know. It's that they need. I need clarification on that statement, and I doubt anybody has any more clarification that's listening. I imagine everybody's confused by that. Does it confuse you?
I think what it's saying is, in other words, if just like what you're saying, if you, thank you, Justin. I know that's why I was putting it out there. He said that we botched the name. Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about it. He's up in a press box in the suites, so he doesn't have to worry about his seats. But anyway, they for me, my understanding, this is what I would say is exactly what you said. If we have, let's say we have the sports objective guys, you, me, Bubba, and Matt, the four of us, it would be whoever's the lowest point, priority point person.
I understand that. It says as much. But do you have to get together with a group? Is what I'm asking. I
don't think so.
Okay, well,
I think, in other words, I think what it comes down to is if we all sat together and we sit together.
Yeah, okay, then they need to make that more clear.
But I don't think you have to buddy up with somebody to do that. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of if collectively we buy 8 tickets or 12 tickets, whatever a row.
Well, that makes perfect sense. But the way they worded it did not. They better clarification.
But anyway, as far as to participate, it says this is a kicker right here for you. In the seat selection process, you need to make sure that you have half of your Pirate Club paid or an active payment plan. Football season tickets paid in full or an active payment plan. So I'm sure people will do that. I mean,
yeah. And when does seat selection start again?
It's mid-May through mid-July.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, I'm not worried about it. I'll have a seat one way or the other if I have to. If I have to sit
Well,
up
I'll tell
there.
you what, where I sit down on the north side ramp in the handicap section, because I'm so fat and not legally blind. As some people think, this is all a gimmick. I'm not really legally blind. I just do it for all the babes. Um, the, so there's not a lot of people sitting down on that north ramp these days. So I'm not overly concerned about being boxed out from my seats. But it is. I hate seating reassignments. It stresses me out, even though it really shouldn't. But it's been several years since we've done it, so I guess it's time to do it again.
It's like what every 5 years or something, off the top of my head. I think.
Hell, is it only been 5 years since the last time? Seems like it's been longer than that.
I don't know. That's what off the top. I think it was the last time I remember. Maybe the COVID year, or somewhere around there was the last time.
You know what? I think they were going. I think it. I think they were going. Were they going to do it in the COVID year and then didn't because of COVID, and it just hasn't been done until now? Because I don't remember doing it like since 2015 or so.
Yeah. All right, here you go. Yeah, we'll sit with you up there. Why not?
What was the question?
He said that I told him I'm not. I was joking. I said I'm not worried about having a seat because Justin he'll bail us out if we don't have a seat. Hey, you know what? Justin. You make a great point. That's a great.
Dave, you were cutting in and out like crazy. You just froze again.
No world. I was saying that's a good problem to have. If so many people are buying tickets that Kyle and I have to worry about seats, that's a great problem to have. And
unfortunately, I don't. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have to worry about seats, but I don't think it's going to be a problem.
It was the COVID year, so I'm not going crazy. Okay. That was the last.
Did it get done? Did we do seat reassignments during the COVID year?
I remember something about it, but the problem was that we went through it, and then I think from what I remember going through it, I had to have this appointment online or something, and then it really didn't matter. It was a moot point. I think we all thought that. Remember, we all thought it was going to be done in July or August, for COVID, and then not to go down that rabbit hole again, but it didn't happen. So we went through a reseating process, and then we really didn't matter because
here's the thing, if I don't get me started on COVID. Had we went to a football game, we would have all died. Yet we could all went to go to work. I don't even get me started.
No, we didn't. That's what he said. Okay. Anyway, we've got a huge crowd tonight. Thank you so much for coming on board. In fact, if you have a question or comment, put it up there. But anyway, there's a lot going on as far as Pirate Nation, and can't wait for baseball. We talked about that. The ladies, they were hanging in there, and then they another tough loss. They're 11-11, Kyle, with 8 games to go. So we'll give a shout out to our ladies. And by the way, Kyle, if you want to go with me to a game, I've got an experience coming up for women's basketball. So we'll talk about that off air at some point. But definitely, I know baseball. We got that. We did that with Alexander about 6 years ago. I'll never forget that, wearing these big. It feels weird to beat a baseball game and you got like this jacket or a big jacket on. Baseball to me is more of a spring and summer sport. But anyway, it just feels. I know we have to have it open. The season open in the middle of February, but man, it's
oh hell, I mean, you look at somewhere like Chicago.
Yeah.
My buddy goes to Cubs games. His girlfriend's in Chicago. He flies out there quite a bit. James, he watches the show, and I remember back in May and June of last year, seeing them at Cubs games and pictures wrapped up in hoodies and jackets. It's a good, nights in Chicago, all the way through early June still get chilly.
Yes, it does. All right. By the way, Justin says can't wait for baseball season. He's working his first JUCO games the first weekend in March. So congratulations to you, Justin. I think I I'm applauding you for being an official. That's definitely not my cup of tea, shall we say? Um, that's not my thing. Oh, Steve has a question. No, I'm sorry, I missed. I was going to talk about that, but we're in the middle of talking about something else. Steve is asking that indoor practice facility has not started yet. I think they're supposed to break ground. Is it March, Kyle?
In the spring. I don't know the exact date, but in the spring,
So
they will
Steve,
be breaking ground.
thanks for that question. And anyway, that was that. Let's see. Justin, he said he got a good weekend series and followed up with a good midweek game against a team that went to the JUCO World Series the last 2 years. So call a lot of balls, Justin. Even if it's way outside, you can call it a strike. Get them all upset. No, I'm just kidding. I know you'll do a great job and it'll be a lot of fun. You're welcome, Steve. You said thank you to us. Here it is. Potomac State plays a local team, and Paul D. Camp is the other. So there you go. I don't know a lot about. I know Division One, but I don't know compared to the other divisions. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, well, the average person isn't going to know JUCO baseball unless you're recruiting the JUCO players, or you happen to live in a town, or you're just that obsessed with college baseball. As obsessed when I am about college football. I know a handful of, Hutchinson Junior College, Georgia Military, stuff like that. Obvious big name junior college, Jones County Junior College down in Mississippi. Uh, you know, but you know your junior colleges in college football. Mississippi and Kansas are your two best states for whatever reason. But don't know much about junior college baseball.
He said as a former Pirate coach will get him. Yeah, I'm sure. That to me, well, my point with that, I was saying that tongue in cheek because each umpire has their own strike zone, which drives me absolutely bonkers. But once you get used to that strike zone for that particular umpire, then the second or third time around, you kind of know what they're going to call, or you think you do. So you just have to. That's unfortunately part of the game that that I don't like. But anyway, they do a much better job than I can ever do. So I would have a really. I mean, that ball coming in 90 miles an hour, or 90 some miles an hour, and you're trying to see what part of the plate it would already be there, and I wouldn't have a clue what to call. So I'm glad just to be in the stands, the press box, whatever the case may be. Kyle, you actually you're like me. We like the atmosphere of the jungle, but we like to see the game. And I hope that they'll take my suggestion of putting a bar in center field. There's a dead space in the jungle. I'm telling you, call it the 23 Club, and maybe we can raise money for NIL by, I don't know if you can do that or not, but everything you sell out there, give it to the give it to the players. I mean, there's got to be something you can do out there where you could buy a ticket to get in and watch the game, because it's really difficult. I love our friends that are out there, and I love the atmosphere out there is amazing, but I like to be able to see the game. Left field is definitely better than right field. I'll just say that. Let's see. He said, well, you got everything on track, man. No. What else you got, Kyle? I know we have our usual suspects here tonight, but Stevie couldn't make it tonight. I know Matt couldn't make it tonight. So they'll be back with us here very soon. And I guess we'll take a break next Sunday night because it's the Super Bowl, right? We don't want to compete against the Super Bowl. So we'll take a break, but then we'll have a Pirate preview show for sure. Hey, by the way, Kyle, before I forget, I know you're not much of an NFL guy. Who you got in the Super Bowl? Do you like the Chiefs or the Eagles? You going with?
Hold on one second, Dave. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm doing something else and I'm totally distracted. I apologize to our listeners. Give me 1 second and I will be right back with you. Talk amongst yourself.
All right, we'll be back here anyway. While we have a chance, while Kyle is doing his thing, who's going to win the Super Bowl? This may be our last show before the Super Bowl. Well, maybe we can get one in, but we want to make sure that you have your chance to put Super Bowl predictions. I am going.
All right, sorry, David. So, I don't mean to cut you off, but you asked me what my Super Bowl prediction was. That there will be a lot of flags thrown on the Eagles.
So you're not going to pick who's going to win?
Kansas City, because
never been done.
The referees love to wash Kansas City's balls. So we will go with the Chiefs. And Jessica will be thrilled because she's a Kelsey fan. So
okay, yeah, I think it'll be. We've never had a three-peat in the history of the NFL, so I think they're going to break that, and they'll have a three-peat. And if you pull for the Redskins like I do, it's really hard to pull for your division rivals. Just sorry, I know there are a lot of people that love the Eagles, but just not my thing. So anyway, we'll see. Did you guys ever ask baseball coaches about getting Cal and Stanford on schedule midweek when they're in town at the train? That's a very good question, Frank. I was at media day. That question, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. I had my day job, quickly went there to like a long lunch, if you will, and then went back to reality, to my job. I do love that. But, here's a great one. Here's a great one for you. Justin, hey, what are the props bets on this, Kyle? Look at this. Justin's got a great idea. Prediction that the Chiefs are going to win, and Kelsey proposes to Taylor Swift right there live on national television and around the world.
Yeah, I've seen that talked about. I don't care. I don't care. Who gives a crap? They'll get a divorce and she'll write another song about it. He proposed to me after the Super Bowl, and then he broke my heart.
You're not bitter.
I'm not bitter. What would I be bitter about? I'm not a Taylor Swift fan.
I guess I'm the only one on the show that is, but
I don't like a lot of mainstream current music.
Oh, so. I know, but all right. Frank loved that. He loved your singing like Taylor Swift. So
thanks, Frank. I appreciate it. I'll sing for you more later. You got any requests? Maybe you'd like to hear some Billy Joe Royal. I don't know.
A good singer. Was a good singer, I guess.
Yeah, was a great singer. I mean, Billy Joe Royal was a pop star in the '60s. You had a Down in the Boondocks and Cherry Hill Park. Then makes a comeback in the '80s as a country. I mean, how many people have done that? Go away for seemingly over a decade, then come back and have a whole second career in a different genre of music.
Yeah, and he actually Billy Joe Royal lived, remember, in Morehead City.
I did not. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lived in I don't know about the 80s when he first made the comeback, but he definitely
he was in Nashville during that time. Dave, you froze up again, bud. Now we got no Dave. Oh, it's the Kyle show. Everybody gets scared when it's just down to me. Dave's back. Hold on.
Oh,
but no, Billy Joe Royal would have been living in Nashville during that time, Dave. He was putting out major records.
Billy Ray
what was it now?
Justin is requesting. You said you're taking requests. He wants
to sing Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
Well, I could. All right, here's Billy Ray Cyrus from the inauguration. I'm gonna take my horse down the one road. I'm gonna ride till it ain't no more. You tell the world never was my girl. I mean, that's pretty much exactly how he sounded at the inauguration.
Yeah, the drunk guy, right?
Billy Ray Cyrus, somebody a lot of people had to make fun of, rightly so, before and after the inauguration. But he did put out an album in the late '90s called Trail of Tears, and had a track on that album, aptly named Trail of Tears. It was a bluegrass song that is fantastic. So if you think you hate Billy Ray Cyrus and he always put out garbage, look up Trail of Tears on YouTube or whatever music app you want to listen to. It's a great song.
All right, there you go. Maybe he'll have a comeback. He has I believe that I believe that song is that he had is the didn't he have wasn't that like 15 weeks at number one?
I don't know what song you're talking about.
The Old Dirt Road, isn't that
Old Town Road? It was a number one pop song. I can't. It was he was backing vocals or did the chorus. Who was the dude that actually rapped that song is horrible.
like that song?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I thought you liked that song.
Hell, no,
Lil
Dave.
Nas,
No,
Lil Nas.
no. I do not like that song. No. That ain't my jam. No.
Okay. I mean, I know you don't
No.
like the
I
more.
hate that shit. Are you kidding me? That is the antithesis of music I hate. Give me Cody Jinks or Tyler Childers or Still Woods or Whiskey Myers or or we'll do some '90s country, maybe a little Tracy Byrd or Neil McCoy or Clint Black or uh, we'll do classic rock, Skinner, Allman Brothers or some metal, Metallica, Megadeth. Godsmack, but no, not Old Town Road. No, that ain't me.
What about Dan and Shay?
Again, Dave, I'm not a homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Did you ever like Shania Twain?
I liked her body in the '90s, but music, no, not for me.
And you're not a Rascal Flatts fan.
I hate them.
I know you don't like Florida Georgia Line, even though there's not
Can't stand them.
Luke Bryan.
Can't stand him. You're gonna ask me anybody I do like?
I know who you like. I'm just messing with you. People probably think that I'm being serious. I know that you. I knew the Florida Georgia Line. I know you didn't like.
Can't stand them. Can't stand them. I got some concerts coming up. We're gonna just talk about music. Got Ward Davis. If you don't know who Ward Davis is, look him up. I'm gonna see him this coming week. Got Brooks and Dunn with David Lee Murphy in March. Got Chris Knight in April. If you don't know who that is, look it up. Got Neil McCoy with Doug Stone in April for a little more '90s country. So I got quite a few shows coming up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Weldon Mills Theater has got a lot of great shows coming up.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to see Neil McCoy and Doug Stone together.
Yeah,
they got a major announcement coming. By the way, we need to get with them. Maybe they can do something here on the podcast. But Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, like to support Eastern North Carolina businesses, and they finally got good management for that theater, which has changed ownerships and names 500 times. But they had a good lineup last year. They seem to be maybe saving money a little bit this year. Not quite as big of a names as they had last year. I saw Clint Black there last year. Aaron Lewis was there. Travis Tritt, Sarah Evans. But they have a major announcement coming. They do have a good lineup, but it seems to be a little bit more economically smart. But they have a major announcement they're teasing that's going to be on a Wednesday night, October 8th. So they don't do midweek concerts normally, and they are teasing that as a major announcement. So I'm interested to see who that's going to be.
Yeah, here's the lineup they have. The Rocket Man Show, that's the Elton John tribute. They have Marty. I love Marty Stewart. They have Marty Stewart.
We're going to see the front men that night in Liberty, North Carolina, or I would have got Marty Stewart tickets.
They have the Hotel California. That's the Eagles tribute band. Puppy Pals Live. I'm sure that's a great group for Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Here's one that I would like to see only because of I love classic rock, but it's probably no original members. Foghat.
One original member left.
Drummer, I believe.
Yep, you're correct.
And then Neil McCoy and Doug Stone. Doug Stone, I saw him in 2007. I think he was there at the Roanoke Rapids Theater, and that was really good.
Doug Stone opening for Neil McCoy. That's a good show. Neil McCoy, I've seen him 3 times. One of the better entertainers out there that's extremely underrated. Doug Stone opening for him. If you like 90s country, those are 2 guys that had a ton of hits back in the 90s. So that'll be a fun one.
Let's see, the music of ABBA. And then the Marshall Tucker Band is the last one.
There will be several more announcements coming.
Yeah.
So if you want to support a music venue in Eastern North Carolina and you don't want to deal with the traffic of going to Raleigh, Greensboro, etc. That is a good choice. It's a nice theater, and seen some good shows there over the years. And glad to see the current management, which they're in what year 2 now of running that theater. They're doing a nice job.
No doubt. And you can just go, for me, I can go the back roads to get there through.
Yeah, well, for me, how long does it take you, Dave, from Williamston?
No more than an hour at the most, but a little
Okay.
under.
It's about an hour and a half for me. I get off 903 on Parkstown Road, take Parkstown Road to Highway 70, take 70 to 795, take 795 to 95.
And it's right up 95, so not bad.
Yeah. Easy drive, no traffic to deal with. It's and you know we're promoting the hell out of them, and they have not given us $1. So maybe somebody should send them this.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great venue, and I miss Carolina Crossroads. They only had that for like a year or two. Do you remember
that whole thing? I mean, it's a great study in mismanagement, from the Randy Parton Theater to Carolina Crossroads to multiple renamings of the theater, multiple owners of the theater. Like I say, the previous owners, the people that had it, 17, 18, 19, they did a job, I thought. But I think the current owners are spending a little bit more money, a little bit more money in advertisement and promotion. I think they maybe spent a little above their budget last year, booking people like Clint Black and Aaron Lewis, Travis Tritt, and scaled that back a little bit this year. But because when you book a Clint Black at a 1,600 seat venue, you got to sell it out to make your money.
Oh, no
or
doubt.
sell a lot of beer.
He was 2007. I know a venue that paid $50,000 for him.
Yeah, and he's going to be more than that now. So let's say this is on a Friday night. So let's say they paid $80,000 for him. You know, I think the house was 75% full. So you know, if they sold a lot of alcohol, they probably broke even.
I heard there was a lady that jumped up on stage.
Say again?
I heard there was a lady that jumped on stage. I saw that on Facebook.
Well, for Clint Black at Roanoke Rapids this past year?
Yeah.
I don't remember that happening. Now it could have, because my memory ain't worth a damn. I got video from the show. Do you remember anybody jumping up on stage at the Clint Black concert in Roanoke Rapids?
On Facebook, there was like a Facebook
Jessica,
friend.
I'm talking to you. Jessica doesn't remember it either. Yeah. It's possible that it happened. I just don't remember. Now that you say it, I kind of remember it. It's like, I don't know if you're manifesting a memory that didn't exist in my mind or if you're jogging my memory. If it did happen, it wasn't a very big deal.
She got up there and they took her off really quick. So a lady had too much to drink, and imagine that at a show, and she wanted to spend
great show, by the way. But you got Clint Black, you know, at the Roanoke Rapids in a 1,600 seat venue. It should have been sold out, and it seemed after that show is when they really started spending more money on advertisement.
Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites, in the class of '89 as far as country music, and he should be in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Clint Black's great. One of my favorites also. We will agree on that one.
Oh yeah, I just like to tease you. I know what kind of music you like. I was just messing with you earlier. I could start throwing up some, like ridiculous ones. But anyway, do you have anything before you get out of here, my friend? I definitely will see a lot of shows. And by the way, I'm really excited. One more thing I was going to share with you, because you used to like NASCAR.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy.
Oh yeah, the return to Winston-Salem. I was watching the Royal Rumble last night. Speaking of redneck stuff, but yeah, was glad to see them return to Winston-Salem.
They actually are. They're having the trucks and Xfinity in Rockingham right after my birthday, so I'm going to go.
Yeah, so you had the Cup Series return to Winston-Salem for the Clash last night. You got the Truck Series and what used to be the Busch Grand National Series returning to Rockingham. You have the All-Star Race has returned. Going to be the third straight year in North Wilkesboro.
It's a great idea.
Glad to see NASCAR getting back to its roots. Just hoping ain't too late. They lost so many fans with their national expansion, and I said they would when it happened. You can't alienate your core fan base. To add new, you have to make sure you keep your core. If you lose your core, then the answer, the casual fans only get involved because your core fan base is so passionate. If you alienate your core fan base thinking that new casual fan base is going to carry you, it's not going to work. And I think NASCAR has learned that. I just don't know how many of them they're going to get back.
We shall see, but I like the fact that they're back in.
Oh, I do too. I do too. I like that they're going back to their roots.
No doubt. So that'll be fun. That's April 18th and 19th. So, in fact, Johnny said they moved a Richmond race to Mexico. I didn't realize that.
That's the opposite of going back to their roots. Both Richmond races?
No, just one of them, I think, is what he's saying.
Well, that's the opposite. See, there you go. They 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, Richmond is one of the best tracks in NASCAR. You know, because that's the thing. I love the short track racing because
it's a short track. It's not as short as like Bristol.
No,
it's not got the high curves like Bristol. You can actually pass at Richmond. It's a pretty flat track for a oval. I always liked growing up it was one of the few cup races that was on a Saturday night.
That's exactly right. We'll have to wait and see how that's coming up. And speaking of a couple weeks,
and you know what? Mike Ray passed away. God, what was it? A year? Yeah, about a week, about 2 weeks ago, a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in January of last year, and we miss him dearly, man. He, what a great guy. He came on.
And for our listeners who don't know who Mike Ray is, Dave did a podcast with him called Racing with Mike Ray. He was a guy that was in and around racing shit all of his life, and I knew Mike from when I was a teenager. He ran the merch booth at East Carolina Motor Speedway, which was my hangout spot when I was a teenager, and used to talk to Mike quite a bit. And great dude. Unfortunately, lost his life to lung cancer. I believe him and his wife. Well, I don't know if his was officially lung cancer, but lung-related issues. Him and his wife both, and very close together. I don't know how. Anyway, we'll talk more about that off the air. But Miss Mike, he was a good dude.
No doubt, and part of our family, so for sure, and a really good guy. And Miss Hot Rod, we lost her about a year, maybe a year and a half or so before he passed away. So anyway, do you have anything before we get out of here, brother?
Nah, nothing, Dave. We'll be back next week. Or no, we're gonna take next week off as the Super Bowl, and we will see y'all in 2 weeks for the first extra innings of the year. If we may have a baseball preview some point before that.
We will, and we also have the baseball media day. I will get it out this week. I'm working on it, so be patient with me. I'm trying really hard to. It's not a lot left to do, so I'll get it out sometime this week. You can guarantee on that. All right, we'll get out of here, Kyle, man. And it's actually cool. We haven't had a chance to do a show, just you and me, in a long, long time. So I enjoy doing shows with you. Thank you, by the way, Kyle, for you've been with me for almost. Can you believe that March 1st is 7 years, man?
It's been a while, dude. Yeah, I remember the first show that we did together in person because, we went to IHOP, did a show together in person because technology is crazy how much technology has changed since 18.
Yeah,
but
we would have done it on a computer back then.
Do what now?
Well, like you said, we would have done the show on a computer and not have to go to IHOP to record a show.
And we could have done it. We started doing recording audio after that at separate locations, but this technology really didn't exist until COVID. So if you don't have any good things from COVID, this kind of technology really taken off and becoming utilized by everyone. I won't say it didn't exist. It just wasn't mainstream.
That's exactly right. All right, my friend, and let's see if we have any last comments here. Cal and you. James has got a comment, apparently. So, all right, we'll get out of here. Have a great night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.